going on, everybody? We're back at the shop today, knocking out a few things. Thomas is over here cleaning ZF, Matt's getting some parts in order, and I'm going to be tackling the Byzanz car that you guys saw in the last video. I already washed it and clay barred it, so looking at it up close, there's just minor imperfections. Lacoste takes really good care of all of his cars. It's in great shape. After just a wash of clay bar, the shine is already back. Once I run over with the polisher, it's going to be immaculate. But everything on the car is straight. All the panels line up good. The front end is pretty mint. There's little to no rock chips, which is always nice to see on these old cars.
Gonna be you and me. Gonna be everything you ever dreamed. Gonna be who you need. Gonna be everything. Gonna be you. Gonna be who and me. Gonna be everything you ever dreamed.
It was pretty fun doing this car. I'm sure Lacoste will be pleased with the results. I think the car came out phenomenal, but the car isn't going anywhere just yet. We will be doing a front diff bushing on this probably in the next episode. So regardless, it's not leaving just yet. Stay tuned, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Hey guys, Matt here, and today we got Lacoste's car up on jack stands. We're in the new shop. As you can see, we still don't have a lift. That's why we got it on jack stands, but hey, at least the floor is clean, you know. At least it's not a dirty floor. Could be worse. So, been spoiled for a while with a lift, and eventually we'll get another one. You know, we're working on it soon, but we just have so much other stuff going on that it just keeps getting pushed back. So, jack stands. Today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be pulling the diff, getting ready for some diff bushings, and we're also going to be swapping out these grills for sure. Those got to go. And here's a new M3 parts car that we have, so we're going to make those grills go on that car. It should be super easy. Just make sure they go in good. I'll show you guys a little trick that we got with the nose panel, just to hold your grills in a little bit better. Something we've learned over the years. You don't want to lose grills. So yeah, that's what we got in store for you today. I know you saw Alex clean this car up. It's looking great. It's been inside the whole time, so she's still looking good. And now we're going to get underneath her and get to know her. Just a quick look at what else is in the shop. We got my Dakar drift car, the Sierra Rot 318, and then we got the old T-Bird. So this is a 64 Thunderbird coupe, hardtop coupe, not a convertible, not removable, just coupe. But most of them came with a vinyl top, and the vinyl tops all trapped water and all rotted away because this is metal, you know? So this one was from Arizona, super clean, original quarters, original floors, original hardtop, super clean, not original, all restored. It's my dad's car. It's pretty good, but just listen to that. The mirror's a little loose. Got to work on some things, some small things, but so yeah, we got this in here. We got Wakasa's M3. We got our new parts car, and then we got my 328. This thing's been coming along pretty well. Just been putting a lot of miles on it, daily driving it. As you can see, I got a new set of Vaders in it. The original seats were super, super chum. And I just picked up these Vaders, and the driver is super bad. Looks like someone got hungry and took a bite. But the rest of the interior is really not much better. You know, if you look around, this interior is not great. So they fit well. You know, this is kind of my beater car, even though it's super clean, rust-free, all one color, bunch of M bits, you know. I love this thing. It's automatic. It gets like 25 miles to the gallon. Harman Kardon's bumping away, sub in the trunk. I hate that it's a convertible, but besides that, it's a really, really nice car. But back to work. So these girls were barely in there. They pretty much fell out. So now let's be very careful taking these out because these are actually in there pretty well. So I'm going to pop this guy off so I can get behind it. Now that we got them out, let's go ahead and pop them in here. But first, I'm going to go ahead and clean them up a little. They're a little faded. So I got this one in there nice and tight. This one's in there really good. But a trick, so if you're having a problem with your grills falling out, yeah, there are tabs on here that you need to make sure are good. But if you bend these guys in just a little bit and put a little bit of tension on, I'm not talking about go crazy. I'm just talking about make sure that that has spring tension on this, and then you'll probably not lose your grills. Hot take, fun fact. All right, it's time to get to it. Time to start pulling this diff out. So I'm down here, rolling around on the floor like a peasant, and I got a pro tip for you. So when you're pulling one of these diffs, the sway bars got to go out of the way. And it's a real pain in the butt getting at these here with the sway bar in the way. So if once you undo them, the two 13mm nuts and bolts here on the subframe, just scoot it up, throw a zip tie up there, and look at that. Right out of my way, don't have to mess with it. That's a good use of a zip tie, let me tell you. But look how clean this car is under here. Clean jack points, clean stuff, a little bit of road grime, but that's the good stuff, honestly. Got the speed sensor unplugged. Next I'm going to go for axle bolts, and after that we'll go for the front bolt, and after that we'll go for the sides, and then we'll see if it's a boy or it's a girl. Another pro tip for you here. So here is my E12 socket that I'm going to use here for my axle bolts, okay? And this little extension right here, literally just a 1-2 inch extension. This guy is going to go on here, and it's going to give the ratchet head more room, because see, now we're not having the boot in the way. And another thing that I recommend is, as you can see, these have never been touched. I mean, there's some hardware where it's like, has that been touched? Maybe, maybe not, but that has never been touched. That is, I think this car has got just shy of 130,000 miles on it. That's all of 130,000 miles of axle bolt grease and grime. So what I recommend here is you set your socket and your extension on, and then give them a little tap, tap, tap-a-roo, just to make sure they're snug on there. After that, crack them loose with a breaker bar or a nice ratchet, And once they're loose, go to town with the impact or the electric ratchet. But you really don't want to strip these, or else you'll be getting out the angle grinder and cutting the head off here. Been there, done that. So don't do what I do. Take this pro tip. On this side, it's the same thing, just adding probably about a 6-inch extension. Hammer on, crack them loose, then zip them out. All right, so now that I got both axles, you can see, there we go. Now that I got both axles popped out, I got our front drive shaft nuts off. All I got left is the big bolt up front, and then I'm gonna leave these for last. I'll probably crack these loose and then do the big bolt up front, get the big bolt up front that goes in that little guy right there. Get that guy out, and then we'll see if she's a boy or a girl. It's a boy! Ta-da! I am curious if there's a tag. No tag on this diff. 323. As expected. Another quick thing we're going to be doing is replacing the sway bar bushings up front. Super quick, super easy. Gonna knock that out real quick. Got our sway bar dropped. Now I just pop these brackets off. And these are our bushings that we're replacing. They don't look too bad, but not a bad idea to replace them. So I'm just going to match them up with the other ones, pop new ones in, and pop it right back up. All right, well, I even got more done than I expected today. Not only did I get the diff pulled, I got the grills done, and I got the front sway bar bushings done. Those went pretty easy. We tossed some new hardware in. Next thing I'm gonna do is we're gonna press out the front diff bushing in this subframe, in the rear subframe, press in a new one, and then we're also gonna do the cover bushings. We'll have those bushings tomorrow. They came in the house tonight, so we'll have them tomorrow, and we'll get back to it. We are back. It's another day, and we got a new bolt and some AKG 95A polyurethane bushings. So this one is going to go in the front of the subframe for the front of the diff, and then these are going to go in our ears. So let's bust those out first. So the speed sensor is magnetic, and you can see there's a little bit of metal on that, but not a ton. I've seen a lot worse. I've seen cakes and cakes and cakes, and that's not too bad. But nevertheless, a little bit of metal. I've also seen absolutely none, so we'll clean that up. We are going to replace the gasket, obviously, seal it back up. But also, look at how hollowed, look at how wallowed out those are. You can see the bolt mark from jumping up and down, and obviously left and right as well. So usually I would use an air hammer with a chisel bit to get the bushing out, but since we don't have access to an air hammer right now, I got this press kit. So down here you can see the jig I have set up. We have those plates there to push the bushing out, and that one to catch it. Here we have it with a bushing inside. So now kind of a reverse process to get the new bushing in. Boom. New AKG 95A bushing. Alright, so now that we got the bushings done in the front subframe as well as the diff cover, we're going to swap the fluid just because it's a good time to service it, you know? I think we were wrong. I think it's 1.8 quarts, not 1.2. 1.2 is for the small cases. 1.8 is for the medium. But anywho, all right, we just filled it up. 1.8 quarts. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and tighten this fill plug back down. All right, now it's the next day. Let's go ahead and get this diff back in the car. Got the diff up there. Now I'm just tightening down the diff mounts, and then I'm gonna get the axles back in, drive shaft tightened down, sensor back in, and sway bar back up. Done. Everything is tight. Nothing left to do than to go drive it. I even marked all of our bolts with paint, just so we'll know if anything moves. All right, well that's that. Car is back on the ground. Diff is back in. Let's take it for a spin and see how it feels. See if we still have that clunking in the rear. All right, I'm out in Wakas's car, and this thing feels so good. It feels better than before. I mean, I only drove it before, so I can't say better than ever, but better than before, better than I've experienced. The diff feels nice and tight. The rear end feels nice and tight. This is a really, really, really good E36 M3. And I appreciate Wakas for letting us work on it, and trusting us. Now, I'm going to continue on my test drive. Let me show you.